Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of my average player walkthrough on Dark Souls 3. In the last episode, we managed to make it to Firelink Shrine. We went up through the first area, killed Udex Gundor, and we ended up in this area. Firelink Shrine is going to be your hub centre for most of the things that you're going to be doing through Dark Souls 3. Some of you guys, as I said before in the last video, will recognise Firelink Shrine. We recently came into this area. We spoke to the firekeeper, we levelled up slightly. We also spoke to Andre, the blacksmith, and we also spoke to this lady. She's going to sell all the consumables you might need. So we spoke to those. What I'd suggest when you first get into Firelink Shrine is have a good look round, get used to the area, know where anything is. There's different dark corners that you can go into. Have a really good look round, because you're going to want to know this place, because at some points in the story you're going to encounter NPCs in this game, and those NPCs, once you exhaust all the dialogue, they're actually going to appear inside Firelink Shrine. So you want to always make sure that they're inside this area. So if you've gone out, you've done a couple hours, killed a boss, or progressed the story, done some exploration, always come back to Firelink Shrine to make sure if any of them's actually in this area. Because some of the NPCs will come this way, and it's worth actually coming back to speak to them, because they might have something of importance that you're going to want to know. There's also a guy sat here. He gives you the gesture, the gesture collapse. Yeah. You just want to talk to him, exhaust his dialogue. He'll give you collapse. He does say something different later on, but just as I said with this guy, just keep coming back, action him, see what he's got to say. He's definitely worth speaking to. Anybody that you come up against or come up to like NPCs, it's definitely worth talking to them. I don't think I did enough of that in the first playthrough of this game that I've recently just finished. But yeah, always make sure you check. There's another guy that you're going to want to speak to. It's this guy here.
Fret not, fret not.
I've already exhausted his dialogue,
Lord.
but you want to talk to him. He's Ludleth of Corland. At the moment, you speak to him, he speaks a bit, as obviously some of these NPCs are a little bit, I don't know, the dialogue's a bit trippy and don't always make sense to new players. But later on in the story, he's going to be something, he turns into something, there's some real good use for him. But we won't go into that yet, that's later on in the story. I'll come back to him at some point and I'll show you what he actually does. You'll get what I mean later on in the story. So always make sure you look around the whole area. We're going to start this area, just have a walk around. We come onto this top area. So it's down from where we were. In this top corner, what you're going to need is a key to open this tower. You're going to need to get the souls, and you're going to need to buy the key. But once you get the key, you can get into the tower and go across into the top tower and go right up there. We won't cover that yet. That'll be in a later episode, hopefully. You can also jump down. You can kick that ladder so you can actually get onto the roof. But as I said, we won't cover that yet. Recently, I have watched a video, and there's actually a way to slightly bypass some of that, and you can actually get onto this roof. When you get on that roof, there's something you can do, but the way you've got to do it is you've got to run up the tree, run that way, and then you've got to do a quick jump. You can land on the slate roof. If you get on that roof, like so, from here we can actually go and get an item that's going to be quite decent for a new player. As you can see, we've already died here once. Falling damage. Gravity can be a killer in Dark Souls 3 as well as the crazy enemies. So we've already died once. But what you want to do is come into this area. And as you'll see from here, we're right above the firekeeper and the bonfire. Some of you guys will recognise this. You can actually exchange items with these guys. I know it was in Dark Souls 2, but I didn't play a lot of the first one, which is my bad. I ought to go back and play Dark Souls 1, but I didn't play a lot of Dark Souls 1, but you can actually exchange items. You guys will recognise the dialogue.
Me.
So you can exchange different items and they give you things back. So there is actually, if you look into it, you will be able to find a list of what you exchange as to what they give you back. So I'll let some of you guys look into that. We might use it later on in the playthrough. We'll pick this item up because this is one of your Estus shards. And there's also a neat trick inside this area. If you come straight across here, slide into an illusory wall. There's quite a few of these in Dark Souls 3, you've just got to look for them. It's hard to find them all. I didn't find them all inside my first playthrough, and this area is still quite new to me from I didn't find the way to do this until I got towards the end of my first playthrough as well. But what you want to do is drop down, and you guys will recognise this item if you've played any Dark Souls series before. You get the covetous silver serpent ring. And what that ring does is actually it gives you the chance, or it actually drops more souls. There's no chance, sorry. It drops more souls. So it adds a percentage on top of what you're going to get from an enemy. I tested it later on in the game. At a 4,000 enemy, I was getting 4,400, so it added 400 souls on. So that, for a new player to start the game, I think is going to be pretty good, really, because you're going to get the extra souls off people, which is going to give you a way of leveling up, which is going to be pretty good early on. So I definitely suggest trying to get that tree jump right. You only got to watch it a few times, you'll grasp it, it's not too difficult. These 5 thrones are all detrimental to this story. I don't want to touch the back of them yet. I mean, you guys can do it because you'll have names of different like bosses that's going to be in the game. I don't really want to ruin that at this point. So I'll let you guys just click on them if you want to. You can just see who they are. It's obvious the one in the middle's like the king, but as far as the thrones are concerned, you can have a look and try and grasp that yourself. That's not a problem. I don't want to totally ruin things. I mean, I'm showing you that exists, so if you want to just go and do that, then by all means do that. So we've done the Souls ring, the Serpetus ring. I wanted to make sure that we did the Covetous ring. Giving you guys extra souls early on is going to be, it might be key for you to get a couple of levels early in case you're struggling on a boss or you need some more levels. So there was one more thing that we wanted to do. I wanted to go back towards Udex Gundor, and there's something that I didn't actually show you guys. I did it on purpose. I wanted the first episode to be me just going through the first area, going to the first boss and getting into firelink. But I think what we're going to do, we'd be better off, let's just travel back. We'd be better off using the bonfire. There's something in the first area that can be kind of tough. If you're a new player, it's going to be pretty daunting early on, to be fair. It's going to be pretty daunting. We'll go right back to the beginning area. This is probably the better one to spawn at. Yeah, it probably is, yeah. So the first episode, I just wanted to keep it flowing, introduce what we were going to do. This one, with the second video, I want to just go back. I'll just show you something that you were missing, so we can kill a few of these people, get some souls. We might get a little bit of souls, so we can do something. I don't know. Might be able to level the weapon up, or just get another level. As you can see, this axe is still an absolute monster. I think this has got the most power early on. Some of the things you can like do a lot of damage to is crazy. So you want to, where you're going to go from the start. You start that way, you come down this area, you want to turn right, so you want to go this way. So from this way, you want to read that message, it says turn back. I mean, you can turn back. As I said, this is going to be quite daunting to a new player. Myself, I mean, I've only just played through the game, so I only encountered this enemy not too many times. There's an item in here. But yeah, you just keep your wits about you. Don't make too many, hopefully, mistakes. Keep your shield up. But this is, as I said, he's going to be quite daunting early on because it's not easy to kill, really. Some players might struggle. I mean, if you've got the dodges down and you've got a good weapon, you should be okay. But he can be a tough enemy, especially for a starter character. They'll say that, he'll probably kill me, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Just be a little bit more defensive. Don't be too aggressive on this guy, because you've just seen he can do serious damage. Just go in and out, nice and steady. Try and work into it, hopefully. I mean, if you can't beat this guy early on, I mean, as I said, it's not necessarily that I'm going to beat him early on. But if you can't, you can come back, level up a bit, and then you should be able to destroy him. But it depends what enemy, what character you are. I mean, the warrior's got plenty of damage because he's using this crazy axe, but it's a real test early on, to be fair. I'd probably argue that this is probably as tough as Udex Gundor, which is like the first trainee boss type thing. I'd suggest this is as hard. But I think it's worth doing. I think it's going to give you, I don't know, a little bit of practice for what's to come. And I assume that might be why the developers put this in. Because it's actually going to give you a little bit of practice of harder enemies, because this dude is, well, yeah, I mean, you can see, I've dodged him, I've hit him quite a few times with this axe that one-shots everything else. And it's doing mediocre damage at best to him. Bullet him right in the tail. Let's do that. I mean, it's not too bad to dodge, it's just, as I said, I mean, part of my problem on a Souls game is too aggressive. I always go for that one last hit when I shouldn't, because that normally gets you killed on this game. Normally gets you killed if you go for that one last hit. As you can see, we're just slowly chipping away, just don't rush it. Just don't rush it. That's his heavy attack, does 71 damage, so... Here we go. Final 2 blows, nice and easy. Get yourself a Titanite scale nice and early. We can also get a, that might be worth it, a little soul to start with. That's going to give us a chance to, you could burn it early on and get some XP, but also, sorry, not XP, souls. We're talking Dark Souls. Anyway, we've got 5,000 souls out of that. Well, I don't know what exactly it was, but now we've got another 5k. So we can probably put another couple of levels on the character. So once you've done that, just go back to firelink, level up, and what we'll do, we've got one last area before we actually walk to the next part of where we're going to start the story. The next part's going to be hopefully not too frustrating for me, because I've tried to fight him a few times and it's actually worked a couple of times against him. So, but we're talking about tough enemies. That enemy's tough, but there's one that I'm going to show you that, not sure why they put him in. I don't know if it's an Easter egg, or if they just wanted to test new players early. But the guy we're going to go and have a look at, some of you guys are going to be really frustrated about him. And what I will suggest is don't go anywhere near him, because if he hits you with his attacks, you're going to feel it really badly. But I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. Let's just hit this up. Let's chuck a couple of levels on. That seems good. 2 levels on strength. We'll go 2 levels on strength, and we'll go 2 levels on vigor. So we get health and a bit of damage. So that puts us to level 15.
Farewell, Ashen.
So that's level 15. Right. As I said, from what I've read, and from what I've seen, and from other people that's played this game, this guy is, you're either going to get what he does to you. An experienced player is not going to struggle. But, as I said, this is like an average walkthrough. I found him quite difficult. It took some learning on how to kill him. An experienced player might be better than that. But he's going to catch you off guard, because you're not going to expect it at this point in the story. I'm still surprised they put him in, to be fair. But he's pretty cool to kill. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can either try and kill him, or you can try and kick him off the side. If you manage to kick him off the side, there's a way to do it. I'll leave that to you guys how you want to do it. But if you manage to kick him off and he doesn't drop anything, make sure you instantly reload your game. So quit out the game, reload the game, and it should the item should be there. So don't think if you kick him off you've lost it. The item will be there if you save and quit. So he's some crazy looking dude in a loincloth that's got a pretty nasty weapon to start with. So stay away from naked men with loincloths. Not a good time. But you'll see this guy does a serious amount of damage. Serious amount of damage. I don't want him to even hit me, because I know what he does. So, but even through shields, it can do a lot of serious damage to you. So make sure you watch him. Let's try and parry him, because there you go. Nice parry timing to start the game. So gratifying on a Souls game, getting parries. I don't know if any of you guys, that's how you play the game, but I tend to carry a parry shield all the way through. Not because I'm good at the game, just because it feels pretty cool when you get a nice parry on any enemy. I mean, it don't feel so good when they parry you, but it feels good when you can get a parry like that, look. But always make sure you're close enough to do some damage back to him. So it's going to take you a few times. I'm not instantly going to beat this guy, because well, you can see it. I mean, I do a little bit of damage to him, and then he does a huge damage to my bar. So it's the same thing again. If you stay away from his attacks and then just counter him, you should be okay. There you go. That went better than I expected. I didn't expect to kill that guy in one. He's legitimately one of the tougher enemies early on. If you give him chance, if you mess up. And that's one thing I will say. I've played through all this game. I've killed all 19 bosses solo. The big thing about this game is the enemies are relentless. This one not so much, but the further you get into the game, some of the enemies become really, really aggressive. And one mistake will get you punished the whole way through. I think up towards the middle you should be fine. But later on, I mean, hopefully we can get the playthrough all the way through into that later on stage. But some of the enemies become relentless and you can't make mistakes. So, with that kill, you get the Uchi Katana, you get the Master's attire, and you get the Master's gloves. The Katana, honestly, I mean, I don't think I'll use it because I used it on my Knight. Early on you might want to use it because it's got plenty of damage. I infused fire. I think I infused fire on mine when I did it in my actual other playthrough. And that'll carry you through mid parts of the game. But I think we're going to stick with the axe on this warrior. But yeah, that guy's definitely worth fighting. He's going to, I don't know, it's going to be a welcome to Dark Souls 3. And it might be a bit frustrating to some people, but just do what I've just done there. Just hold your shield up. I mean, if you want to go for parries, do it. I like to always carry a parry shield. It always gets me in trouble and will probably get me killed through this playthrough. But it's fun, so I like to land a parry. At some point, this will become obvious what you need to do here. Hopefully, as I said, we can probably do that in the playthrough as well. But that's basically Firelink Shrine. I mean, we can go and fetch a couple of the items on the other side. But I'll leave it to you. You guys can just go around this area as much as you want, collect the items. There's a couple of things you can pick up. There might be something over here. Yep, there's a homeward bone there. That'll always come in useful. There should be another item down here. Yep, we've got an ember, which is, you're going to want those. We've got a doggy, or kind of. Some sort of possessed alien dog, but yeah, you know. Demon dog. So that's going to be that. Also, on the trick, as far as jumping up onto that area where I've showed you, where you can get onto that roof slate and you can get the covetous ring, in that top corner, if you want to explore a little bit more, I found a lizard on the other side, just the other side of this wall, that might be able to drop you something that you might want to use. I'm not sure if you can get there on this first trick though. You might have to wait till it's open, so we'll probably go back and get that later. So I think that's as much as Firelink Shrine's got to offer at the moment. We killed the Katana man. We got that. We got the Katana. We killed the Crystal Lizard I wanted to show you. We got the Souls Ring, which is going to give you increased souls. Hopefully that should come in handy. And we explored Firelink Shrine as much as possible. So the next part, really, in fact, we've got 3k. We might as well. Can we get one more level before we move on?
Very well. Then
We don't want to be too high, but it'd be pretty cool if we could. Yeah, let's get another bit of health. Strength's alright at 20. So we leveled up to, what's that, level 16 now?
Farewell.
I think we should be plenty strong enough to tackle the next area now. Also, I don't know if I mentioned last time, you can actually allot Estus in this game. So if you're going to be a mage or a caster, or if you're just going to be a straight melee build, you can actually allot your Estus. So you can have, as I'm going to run it as 4 healing, you can have 4 magic potions, so you can get your potions back if you're using a faith build or a mage build or whatever. Or you can go 2 and 2, but we'll rock 4 because that's going to be the way to go for this character. Also, we can reinforce the Estus flask because we got that the shard from on the top area. So now that's going to give us 5.
Pretty be careful.
So 5 Estus is good to start with. It'd be good to get that shard straight away, because that's going to give you an extra Estus, which is always good to start the game. I don't know what sort of experience you guys are going to have, but it's always good to have 5 Estus to start with. So once all that's done, once you've completely been through firelink, spoke to everybody you need to, done everything you need, then the next thing to do is just travel. You're going to go to the travel area, and the next area we're going to go to is the High Wall of Lothric. So this will be the next area. I think we've got 20 minutes into this video. I think that's probably going to do it for episode 2. I think we went through everything that we need to. We went through the stuff that I think you ought to know. Probably, if I showed you that trick and it helped, I mean, by all means leave a comment in the comment section. But hopefully I can find a link to the guy's channel that I saw it on. Because he's a massive YouTuber, to be fair, and he's really, really good at Dark Souls content. So I bet by all means I'd love to link the guy's channel. But yeah, so if that trick helped, by all means leave a comment. But in the next episode we'll go through Lothric, we'll go through this high wall area, onto the second boss is where we're going to hopefully, within 20 minutes we'll have to see, hopefully we're going to get through. We'll probably do a bit of walking around, a little bit of investigation. In this series I'm not going to spend forever, hopefully, walking around looking for different areas. Because I think some of it, you guys need to probably look around yourself a little bit, explore. That's kind of what Dark Souls is about. So we won't totally try and discover everything, but we want to try and get towards the second boss, which is going to be some fun. So thank anybody that's checked episode 2 out, and anybody that actually watched episode 1. I really am enjoying this game. I really want to make some content on it. So hopefully we can keep this walkthrough going. It's going to be an average player's walkthrough. By no means are you going to get professional gameplay or a professional's opinion on the game. I just enjoy the game. I want it to be an average playthrough, and I want you guys to hopefully enjoy it. So with that said, if you do like the content, by all means rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in episode 3.